We're in Budapest for this weekend's Hungarian Grand Prix at the Hungaroring. We're going to enjoy a quick flight across Budapest and see a bit of a glitch on the landing. G'day everyone, Z21 here, you can call me Z. We're taking off from the international airport in Budapest, just waiting as we taxi to the runway and wait for the jet to take off ahead of us. It's fun, you see quite a few glitches in the game still. A random support vehicle flying straight through. Alright, so we're taking off here. We're back in the Cessna 152. It seems like it's the easiest plane for me to fly at the moment. We are on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and this is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Compared to last weekend, I have the live weather on, and you can see it's a beautiful day in Hungary, in Budapest. I've noticed the graphics are quite sharp today in the game, but a bit of a slowdown and frame rate drops throughout. Scenery looks amazing though. So what we're doing now is going to go west towards the Danube River, where the center of Budapest is, and just flying over some residential areas of the city. But look below, it's so beautiful. The representation of the city, the houses, the apartments, quite amazing. But I'll fast forward here so we can get to the city a little bit quicker. It's the first time to have a look at anywhere in Hungary and Budapest here today. I noticed some apartment complexes, cool stadium. Really amazing view. Without the fast forward, that flight took about 10 minutes, so I wanted to shorten the video, but we'll slow back down now as we've reached the Danube and fly north towards the Budapest city centre. The first thing I noticed on the east bank of the river was the National Athletics Center. The stadium I think is complete, but it looks like in construction on the satellite imagery they have here. We're going to zigzag across the river as I fly up, not knowing what I'm looking for, but just enjoying the views. Vibe flying, BFR style. Trying to work our way around. That looks like a university campus, and it's the ELTE campus there as we fly over. What a great place to study, right next to the river there. And as we fly back across the river again, you can see on the left side there, it is the Central Market Hall, a massive late 19th century structure. And just beyond there, right at the tip of the nose of the plane, is the Hungarian National Museum. What a beautiful part of the city here. Amazing buildings. And then back across the river again. Right there on the left, on top of the hill, is the Cittadella. It's an old fortress. You can have a little fly around. Some amazing history in Hungary and Budapest. So as we fly north and then back to the Danube, there is the Buda Castle, Buda Castle. It has the Budapest History Museum inside. And then without realizing, just there on the left is just left there now is the Fisherman's Bastion. I didn't realize that was another cool location in Budapest, but I did notice this building here, the Hungarian Parliament building. That's an amazing looking structure, right on the river. So you can see as the graphics render, there's a bit of slowdown. A lot of data streaming in. And this is Margaret Island, a beautiful green landscape in the middle of the Danube River. It looks like a fun place to explore. Many sights to see in Budapest, it seems. Enjoying the history and the architecture. Some stunning views. So that was a bit of a sightseeing trip through Budapest, the city centre, and now we should try to head out and find the Hungaroring. I have a general idea of where the racetrack is. Right there is the Danube Arena as we fly back onto the land on the east side of the river. But as I was saying, the track is to the northeast of Budapest, but just trying to find my bearings as we fly in that direction, back across the apartments and residential areas of the city. Just on feeling, I thought it was in this direction. cool little smokestack. There, some factories amongst the apartment blocks, the houses. Looks like a really nice city to live. And the graphics show the cars moving as well. It feels like we're flying over a city that's being lived in, even in this game. So I'm just going to fast forward up here because I realize I'm not sure if I'm going in the right direction. But that's part of the game. It's really fun to just enjoy the scenery and explore all around. So I circled back, thinking I've gone too far. But then just thought, oh, it's actually probably a little bit more northeast than I realized. So went a bit further and then saw some familiar scenery from watching it on TV. There it is, just over the hill. You can see it there. The Hungaroring. The Hungaroring is a pretty cool looking track. It's enclosed in a bit of a smaller area, lots of tight turns. It's 4.38 kilometers in length. There are 14 corners. Very tight and twisty layout. I've heard the comments that it's like Monaco without the barriers, or a large go-kart track. This weekend there will be less concern about energy management, which should mean for some fast racing, flat out racing through the whole qualifying and race. It's quite a fun looking layout. So that was a bit of a high altitude flyover, and now we can do our low altitude track guide. Here we go. So as we approach the straight, across the grid and starting line, down to the tight first corner. It's a heavy braking zone, and I've noticed quite a few cars were locking their brakes in practice. Too tight for me to turn there. So they go down the hill here into turn 2. Long left-hander. Then into turn 3, which is a flat out kink, down a bit of a straight here, heading back up a little bit of a hill to turn 4, a fast blind left-hander, and then through the long turn right. Here we go over a water park right next to the track. So then we cruise down to turns 6 and 7, sector 2 chicane, and turns 8 and 9. And then some quick sweeping corners 10 and 11. Down another little bit of a straight. And then turn 12, a 90-degree turn here. And turn 13, a 180-degree left-hander. And then back to the final corner, turn 14, another 180-degree turn. And then back onto the main straight. Very fast lap. This would be a cool track to drive around. And we'll do one final high altitude view of the track before heading back to the airport. I think this track has been on the calendar since 1986. And I can understand why it's quite a popular place to race. We'll have a quick look back here as we say goodbye to Hungaroring. Quite a flat region here outside of Budapest. Amazing day to go flying here. And just to quicken up the video, I'll cut the section back to the airport as we approach. You can see the airport there to the left. I'm not following any rules here, just vibe flying. Probably much more important if I want to learn how to fly properly, to understand more of the flight rules. But an interesting sight here, there is a plane taking off in the distance. So that made me realize I have to go to the opposite end of the airport and approach from the east. Cool to see that plane taking off there. Can hear a bit of the sound in the distance. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this game a lot. Every time I go out for a flight, I can see some interesting scenery, learn about the city, have a feeling of what it's like if you were to live in that region. So we're just flying on the north side of this airport as we go to the other side to approach. And I'll cut a bit of the section out again to shorten it up. Beautiful. So here we are now, just approaching, turning right, and I see a plane approaching there, just in the distance. I didn't actually pick it up until it got closer. Bit of a an oops moment. That's pretty cool. You can see the highway down there is quite busy. Still struggling with the landing, the approaches, trying to line everything up. I'm sure it's much easier if you do it properly with the instruments. But flying the Cessna 152, a little bit easier than the other planes so far. Again, just using the dual sense controller. Basically just floating in. I just want to ensure I don't bounce when landing. Just trying to keep the nose up. And this is where I heard, here we go. This is where I heard a bit of jet noise coming from behind. I was like, oh, I think I've gonna be a hit here. And then you can see just the two jet engines. What happened there? That gave me quite a surprise. So it didn't end well trying to get back to one of the gates. But anyway, that's quite a fun experience in any case. Yeah, so as it didn't work out that well, I thought I'd just find a place to stop. If you have made it this far, thanks for watching again. Always great to hang out. You're welcome to leave a question or a comment, and I hope to continue making some of these videos following the F1 calendar, learning to fly but also just having some fun. Alright, we'll just stop here. Again, I appreciate your time. I hope you have a great weekend ahead. Enjoy the Hungary Grand Prix. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.